And our next speaker is here. It's Shai. Shai, hello.
Hello,
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How about
I,
you?
I, I love your background.
Thank you.
It's very nice. Okay, Shai, before I let you make your presentation, I would like to invite you to play a little game with me. I've been playing with all the speakers. And for now, the score is 2-2. So it's a tie. Speakers versus me, and now it's you who's going to decide the winner for today. Okay,
Okay.
very important to feel it. Okay, just okay. I'm going to give you a fact about Shenzhen. Have you been there?
Unfortunately not. Perhaps
That's
I
good
will.
for me. That's good for me. So I'm going to give you a fact, and you should say whether it's true or false. Okay.
Okay, let's do it.
Perfect. So the fact is that by 2018, Shenzhen had 262 skyscrapers above 150 meters.
I would say true.
And you are correct. And the point goes to speakers. And
Yeah.
3-2, you are winning. Thank you so much for the game. That's nice. Yes, there are so many skyscrapers. Actually, I don't know. It feels like even more than in the US, actually. Though Shenzhen is ranking third in the world, behind Hong Kong and New York. Right. So now let's let you talk about more serious stuff. Games. What can be more serious than games? Good luck with your presentation, Shai.
Okay, thank you. I'm actually happy that my presentation is just after Elena's talk from TikTok because we're going to talk about how to gamify a TikTok trend. So we're going to talk about tie-dye, which is our latest mobile hyper-casual hit, and how we took this trend and gamified it into a mobile hyper-casual game. And for those who don't know me, my name is Shai. I'm a publishing manager at CrazyLabs. I've been in the gaming industry for around 6 years now. I work with our internal studio as well as our partners in order to create, test, and publish their hyper casual games. Recently, actually started working with some casual studios who are looking to step into the hyper casual games as well. A bit about CrazyLabs. So we're around 10-year-old company, around 250 people. We've gained over 3 billion downloads until so far and have over 80 million monthly active users. We have offices all around the world. I am currently in our headquarters in Israel. These are some of the games that we've released over time, just to give you a sense of what is a successful game. For example, ASMR Slicing had over 50 million downloads so far, Amaze with over 60 million, Run Sausage Run with over 100 million downloads, and a few others as well as that you can see here. But today we'll talk about our latest hit, Tie-Dye. For those who don't know what mega viral hit tie-dye is, here's a quick video to show you what have we've been talking about and what is this game about. So as you can see here, there's a lot of colors involved and there's a lot of textures. It's actually a very viral hit around the DIY fans. And this is where it all started. So we understood that this has huge mass appeal, millions of views around all of the social networks, and a very huge hit around the DIY fans. But what we wanted to really get here is what makes this into a viral hit and what will make this into a game. And we really understood that players would like to do tie-dye, except they don't want to handle all of the mess around the tie-dye itself. And I think this is one of the most important things. And perhaps we'll see at the end of the presentation what we wanted to achieve here. So try and remember that at the end of the presentation here as well. So we wanted to gamify tie-dye for a while now. The idea was rolling around the office, and in the last few months, we were on a hunt to find a studio that will be up for the challenge. We started working with a studio called Furious Avocado. It's a very talented studio from Macedonia who took over this concept. Together, we pinpoint what made this into a very viral hit and what do the DIY fans really like about it in order to really capture and understand what would be the flow of the game itself. Um, it took the team around 1 week to create a video of the gameplay itself and around 2 weeks to fully complete the game. After we launched the game, the first time we saw 60% day one retention, 50% day two, and almost 40% day three. And obviously, as you understand, this is a phenomenal hit, and it is number one in around 40 countries. So how did we gamify this, and what made this trend into a game? Now, before we go to the juicy part, here's a quick timeline of the full process from the concept to testing until the time that the game was launched. As you can see, it was a 3-week process. Some might say this is a very short period of time. I would say this is very nice and should be something that all studios aspire to. Once you release the games, you want to hit the chart and be the first one to scale it. Your competitors are behind you, so being fast is crucial here. As I said, it took them 1 week to create the video. Then we created a city artist, and once we saw the results, we understood that we have a hit here. A few days later, uploaded a build to the store to test the CPI. Here we saw 5-cent CPI for the initial test. And with very, very little content, we saw that the retention of the first day was 48%. Another 2 weeks later, to complete the full game and launch it, adding metagame and more content, we've reached around 68% day one, and the CPI was 10 cents. So moving to the ideation, and perhaps I think this is the most important slide from all of this presentation. We understood that this is a huge trend around all of the social networks, but the most important thing to understand that it's not just this is a trend, but how big of a trend it is. And perhaps the most important sentence, and if there's one sentence that you can remember from this whole presentation, I think this should be it. If we made this trend into a mobile game, what would make this even better as a mobile game? I think this is the most important thing that guided us to this whole process. Moving forward and going with the flow, so we wanted to stay as close as possible to the original video that guided us to this trend. So we worked together with the studio in order to identify and extract what is the flow that will make the players retain and like to play this game, and pinpoint the needs and what attracts them as well. So here's a quick view of the first flow that the team drafted. As you can see here, this is exactly the flow that we have in the game today. So you take the shirt, you fold it, you put the rubbers, you choose the colors, you dye it, then you unfold, then you put it in the water, dip it, unfold, and then you can see the outcome itself. And what we found here, obviously, is that the players want to see the full outcome and enjoy the experience as well. This actually helped us to optimize the flow as well as the monetization side. Moving forward, we decided it's going to be a non-fail mechanic because we understood that the players want to enjoy and see the result, and this would retain the users, and it's crucial for the success of the game. The players really understand the game from the first 3 seconds of either watching the video or starting to play. It's very simple, and this is what guided us through the whole process of the onboarding and the creation of the game itself. Here's a quick bonus tip. Once we understood what will be the flow and what would make the players retain even further, we created the playable ad. This was the playable ad that ran on the Iron Source network, one of our partners, that was very successful and drove around 60% of the traffic. And we understood that the playable ad should not be long. Actually, the shorter it is, the better it performs. It doesn't have to be the full flow itself, but what we call the point of no return. So you can let the players play until the point that we really understand that at this point they just want to see the outcome of the tying and dying that they did. At this point, you can send them to the store in order to download the game. And this was a very nice, successful moment where we saw the conversion. So a very short presentation, and we're reaching the end of this presentation here. And as we discussed very earlier, what guided us in order to create this hit was we understood that this was a trend and this was a huge trend, but people want to play without having the mess around it. And I added here a screenshot that I swear I took just 2 days ago after the presentation was fully completed. And you can see here that the players react exactly to what we wanted them to have. So they like to play the game, they want to play it, and they do it without the mess around the bathroom sink with all the colors and then cleaning up after themselves and seeing the full outcome, which is very nice in all of the time. This is what make this into a huge hit. And obviously, we understood after seeing these KPIs that this is a huge hit and what drove the result here as well. So feel free to write your questions and let me know if you need anything. Be happy to talk to anyone who's looking to step into the hyper casual scene, if they have any concepts or games, or even just have any questions around the hyper casual or even tie-dye itself. You can reach out directly to me or in the chat here, or you can reach out to the publishing at CrazyLabs.com.
Thank you very much, Shai. Thank you for sharing this information. We have a couple of questions for you. So the first one is, what do you think about checking the prototype using the playable ads method? Like when you do not create the prototype, like the real one, but you make a playable ad and you do user acquisition and see how people react?
Well, it's an idea, but I think maybe this would be overkilling or too much time, because creating a playable ad is not as easy as creating a simple gameplay video, capturing it even from Unity. You don't need to create a full build. You don't need to upload to the store. You don't need to fix bugs or work on controls. And that way, it's going to be a faster process in order to check and understand what are the KPIs and if it's appealing to the players, and only then starting to work on a build or playable, but most of the time a build in order to check the CPI and then move forward from there.
Okay, thank you. Another question will be from me. Before the hyper casual era, people used to say, and I used to say that, ideas are worth nothing until you have like a real game made and have real people playing it. Your ideas is nothing, and there is no need to sign an NDA or no need to keep it a secret when you talk to people at the conferences. What about hyper casual? Like, can it be that, for example, I chat with someone at the conference and tell about the idea for a hyper casual game, and then this person will be faster than me? Is that so, or it still very much depends on the realization of the idea?
I think it does depend on the outcome of the idea. At the same time that we could have made tie-dye totally different, trying to stick to a different video, trending video, it could have had worse KPIs. I think the idea is nice. Sharing it with your publisher is not something that you should be afraid of. If you have a partner that you trust, or if you have some friends that you want to talk about it and get some of their feedback, I think once you have an idea, it's also very crucial to understand what will be the game itself, what will make it into a game, and why would players want to talk about it. Because having just an idea doesn't mean that you have something here in your hands that will make it into a good game. There's a few things that we've talked about even in this presentation. What could take an idea from the ideation part and make it into an actual game that players would like to play and retain. And I think a few things that are crucial is what is the wow moment here? Why do the players want to play it? For example, in tie-dye is the outcome, but the flow itself and the level design is also something that can be crucial here. So having just an idea is not enough, and you can share it just to get some sense of a concept, if you're on the right track, if there's already something that is been tested or not. So you shouldn't waste your time. So it's good to share it with your publisher to get the concept around it, or share it with your friends or even people at the conference, just to get a sense of what do people think about it. If you're not fast, if you have an idea but you're just talking about it and you're not fast in order to create a prototype and test it, that's a different scenario. And this is the reason that, for example, here it took us less than a month to create a game. And the reason that when I speak to all of the developers and studios, I tell them, one of the most important things is that you will be fast. And this is one of the reasons.
All right. That makes sense. Thank you very much, Shai. Speaking about working with development studios, when do you think it's the best time to approach a publisher? I asked this question before to our speaker from Netmarble. So what do you think? Is it like, do they need to have an idea or a prototype, or they're just, can say that they are an experienced developer studio that are ready to work with a publisher, and here we are? What's the best time?
Well, I think all of the above. Obviously, if you have an idea, it's nice. And if you share it with the publisher, you can get his feedback. And I do it a lot. However, if you already have a studio with experience that you don't have an idea, let's say you only worked on casual games, but you want to step into the hyper casual scene, this is something that I talk to a lot of studios. What we do here is that we guide, not only test the games, but we guide the studios and the developers in the full process, from the ideation part until the game is ready for pitch, and from the pitch until the game is ready for a CTR test. If you have a partner, if you have a publisher that you trust and you're able to work very closely together with, I think this is the best solution, even without a concept or an idea. But if you have the experience, this is the time to approach a publisher.
Okay, thank you. So, well, the best answer, as always, is that don't talk about what you're going to do, just do it, or at least find a partner and discuss it, right?
Yeah, I think
this sounds really reasonable. Okay, so the last question, honestly, I don't understand what it means exactly, but maybe you will do. It's from the chat from Andrei Novikov. So he asks, CrazyLab is from that cool guy from Nizhny.
I'm not sure I understand as well.
Okay. So probably he asked about the history of the company. So how CrazyLab was founded, and where are you guys based? Just a couple words.
Okay, yeah. So we're a 10-year-old company. We have offices all around the world. I'm based in Israel. We rebranded around a year ago, I think, from Tubtail to CrazyLabs. So perhaps this is the question.
Yeah, probably Tubtail is a little more like famous title, but I'm sure that CrazyLabs will be super famous soon with your hyper casual games. All right. So thank you very much, Shai, for the presentation, and I hope you will find many new games and many developers this week. Okay, and have a nice day. I'll see you later. And
thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye bye.